Welcome to Season 7 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. Before I start this episode, I wanted to share that I'm testing new music that will be played before the beginning of the episode and at the end. This music is from Makesoundmusic. Let's dive right in. Happy New Year! Welcome to episode 108 of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala. Using research and my personal experiences where I actually set foot in some of these places, I'll be describing some of the unknown attractions in both the US and around the world, as well as share some of the hidden landmarks of some well-known places. This week I talked to Collin about his trip to Nebraska last year. He visited museums, a stadium, and tried local cuisine there. He is the host of the historical and film podcast History from the Back Pages and co-hosts the podcast The Bull and Hawks Sports Show with his friend Ben.
When I went to New Mexico, that was purely vacation because I never been to Mexico and wanted to go there. This one was also vacation because I had a long work period, so I want to go on vacation, but also to visit my sister. That was the main reason why I went to Lincoln, Nebraska.
Erin, your sister, she's going there for her master's degree?
That's correct. She's going to the University of Nebraska in Lincoln for her costume design master's degree.
Nice.
So it was definitely a good experience and fun to visit Nebraska because I'd never been and also admittedly know very little about the state itself. It's not a place that automatically comes to mind. It's like a hotspot vacation destination. But I was glad I went because Lincoln, the town, is very pretty and it's a place that would not be against living there because the quality of life is very good there. The transit was super easy via buses and walking, so that's definitely appealing. And the campus is right directly in the city center, so downtown. So you don't feel like you're having to travel far distances to get there because it's in the middle of downtown, so all the action is where the university is.
Oh, nice.
We drove a few times, which I'll get to because we went to different destinations, but most of it I was able to do walking or taking the bus. I didn't have to drive or take an Uber. I was able to get there about that. Because my sister was working and going to school most of the time I was there, so a lot of stuff I was doing myself. So I had to be able to walk or take the bus. So the main highlights, we flew into the Lincoln airport, which is a very nice small airport. And it's like 5 minutes from her apartment, so easy to get to. It's easy to do it because you go to O'Hare, take United Airlines, and then fly to Lincoln. You can do it nonstop.
Any surprises during the flight?
Well, delays. It was delayed, of course, because the plane was flying from Dakota. I think it was supposed to be from like Bismarck to Fargo, but then it got delayed. I had to go back. So then it arrived late, and then we got on it late. And then there was a lot of turbulence because it was we left later. It was during a storm, so you got to see lightning and thunder, which was cool from the plane. Then we got to Lincoln, and we didn't do anything that Sunday because I got there Sunday. We just settled into her apartment. And most of how it worked was all the days I was there, which from Sunday until Friday night. From the morning period until 5 p.m. I was on myself. I was on my own because that's when she had classes and work. And then after 5, she was available. So on Monday was my first day there. The first place I went was the famous Sunken Gardens.
What is that?
So it's a very famous part of Lincoln. So it's kind of has this famous koi pond, which is very cool, and really beautiful gardens. So flowers, shrubbery, very pretty awnings. It was definitely a good place to go to and read a book and sit there. But the day I went was Monday and the weather was bad. So it was very cold and rainy. I told myself I must go to the Sunken Gardens. Mm-hmm. I don't really remember why or if they even said why it's called the Sunken Gardens. That's the name. And then this cool fountain, too, that was nearby. It was the Centennial Lincoln Fountain, which was cool. And the Sunken Gardens is a good location to visit if you're going to the Lincoln Children's Zoo, which is across the street. So, for example, if you're a family and you're going to the Lincoln Zoo, then you could go to the Sunken Gardens after. I didn't go to the Children's Zoo. I just walked around outside to look in, but I didn't go there. So that was the Sunken Gardens, and I walked there. I did lots of walking miles. I would do miles and miles of walks, so I got a lot of walking in, which was nice. The buses are pretty straightforward, but I was I want to try walking because it was good to get exercise and on vacation. So that was that part. Got to see the Sunken Gardens, and I enjoyed it. that was really what I did. That part, some gardens. I went to lunch that day to visit my sister because she had like a different schedule on Monday. So we went to this Mediterranean restaurant during lunch, and it was called the Sultan's Kite. It's near downtown Lincoln, like on the Strip. It was very busy. It was full of people, like business people and college students. Because on Monday, the main activity was going to the zoo. So we went to the Omaha Zoo. And it's a famous zoo because it's one of the biggest zoos in all the United States.
Is there a lot of exhibits?
Oh, tons of exhibits, lots of exotic animals that I'd never heard of or seen before. And it was cold and rainy, so the weather wasn't too amazing. But if it had been better, it was definitely worth it. But I really enjoyed it regardless. Because they have lots of great indoor exhibits. So they have a lot of indoor animals. So you got to see those wherever it was fine.
Any exotic animals that you remember that you like?
Not exotic, but I love elephants. A lot of zoos no longer have elephants because they're too hard to keep. But the Omaha Zoo does have elephants. And they had a baby elephant, which was born not that long ago, so that was cute to see.
Oh, that's so cute.
I think I took a picture, so I'll just show you. But that was fun. And they had the elephants inside and outside. So there was elephants who were rolling and playing in mud because it was really muddy in their enclosure. And they had a lot of exotic snakes, exotic bats, exotic lizards. There's this one animal, I think it was called a opelka or something along those lines. I thought it was all stripes, like brown stripes with like horns.
I think I've heard of that animal. It's like something a cross between an antelope or something.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. A lot of different animals. The zoo is ginormous, and we got there like at 3 p.m. and the zoo closed around like 5 something. So we didn't get to see all of it because it was so ginormous. We skipped the aquarium because that was a whole nother thing in itself. Because they have an aquarium at the zoo as well. Lots of animals we got to see, and I really enjoyed the zoo, and it was definitely worth it going. Because Omaha's about an hour drive from Lincoln. Omaha, if you're somebody who likes cities, is probably where you want to go in Nebraska because they have skylines. And it's the most city-like of any places in Nebraska. And then after that, we went to downtown, like historic district in Omaha, went shopping, and went to this Italian restaurant, which was really good. It's called the Spaghetti Works, so I recommend going there.
What's so good about it?
It's very like family-friendly, and like friendly atmosphere. And they have lots of different pasta variations, so you can basically choose any of like different pasta, like fettuccine, linguine, spaghetti, penne, bow tie pasta. Lots of different sauce types, like pesto types and marinara, different sauces. You can add that on top of it, and then it comes with a salad bar and then like bread and stuff. It was really good. The shade itself I enjoyed because the people there were nice, but not fake nice. Like they really are nice. And then that was Omaha, so the zoo, and then the Spaghetti Works, and then this one shop I enjoyed in Omaha downtown, which was like a like sci-fi nerds paradise, which I am one of those. So they had lots of like cool memorabilia stuff you could buy, and their claim to fame was like these mystery boxes. So like if you bought this mystery box, it was full of like memorabilia and merchandise from like that particular entity. So if you loved like Supernatural or loved Star Trek or Star Wars or like Captain America, there was that stuff there. I didn't buy anything because my suitcase was almost full. I didn't know how much art stuff was in the boxes.
Oh, okay.
Because they're not see-through. They're just like a cardboard box. So like I don't know how many stuff's in there. How big is it? Mm-hmm. If I had unlimited space or my suitcase wasn't that full, I would totally have bought one. I might have my sister buy me one and ship it to me.
Was it actually called what you said it was, or was that the name you gave it?
No, it was called that. I'm pretty sure it was called like the mystery box.
No, the building or the store, the Sci-Fi Nerds Paradise.
No, it's a modern name, like not Emporium, something like that. Like not Planetarium, not Emporium, something like an Emporium on the end. It should be easy to find if I looked at it later, because it's like downtown Omaha, like near the Spaghetti Works restaurant. So it's like on that same strip. That was Omaha, so that was Monday. So then Tuesday, I did some more exploring on my own. So I did stuff on my own. I went to 2 museums on Tuesday. So I went to the Sheldon Art Museum, which is on University of Nebraska campus. And I really loved the museum. It was very well done. They had a number of good exhibits on display. And it's free, too. They had this one exhibit I really liked. It was called the Big Red exhibit. Because that's one of the slogans, mottos that University of Nebraska and the town Lincoln itself uses all the time. like for sporting, like Go Big Red, or like the community Go Big Red. They use that slogan all the time. Because red's like the national color of the town and the university, of course. So the art gallery exhibit was all art, sculptures, or like statues that were color red. So it was all stuff that was red that was chosen by members of the community. So like the mayor, the head football coach in the university, different people in the community chose an art from the collection that they spoke to them that was the color red, and then they chose it and they wrote a paragraph like why they chose it. So that was well done. I really liked that exhibit. They also had an exhibit that was very interesting. This one, your listeners might love it. It's the Ken Friedman exhibit. Have you heard of Ken Friedman?
I think I've heard the name. I just can't figure out right now.
That's all right. So this one, there was 90 works of art by Ken Friedman in this gallery. And Ken Friedman, what he's most famous for, and keep in mind I never heard of him before this, but what he's most famous for is that he has like 6x10 or 8x10 like blank like printer paper, and he writes about like a short 1 or 2 sentences on each of them, so like 90 times. So for example, one of the ones I took a picture of says Centennial, like that's the subject line, it's bolded. And then it says, in honor of Nicholas Dominski's 100th birthday, bury a long line of 100 cases of dynamite in the desert, each at 200-meter interval from the case before. Detonate the case one after the other. So basically all of his 90 works of art say something like that for you to do like a guideline or instructions. So it's like 6x10 works like 90 times. This one was really funny. It was just like 10 cardboard boxes that were his, and they just said something different on each of them. So like one said alarm clock, one said volleyball, one said tea set. Like he just said different things on the cardboard boxes. I think he's one of those artists that you love it or you're like hate it.
Interesting concept for art.
And you can say like, oh, that's not art, but how's that not art compared to one of the other things had on exhibit in the modern gallery? There's a piece of toast. Like, is the piece of toast art and this not? Like, how do you differentiate that?
Yeah, or the famous banana stuck with duct tape.
Oh, yeah. Or at the Art Institute, they used to have cat litter on display. They don't anymore, but it was a cat litter exhibit. It was like in the corner, and it was a real exhibit. It wasn't fun. It was like a real work of art, cat litter. I think the piece of toast is on par with that, but no judgment. That was the Sheldon Art Museum. Very highly recommended going there. So, and they have new exhibits all the time. So it's like definitely you can go there multiple times and see something new. And they did a good job with all their works because they put like new to collection or new on display. So you could definitely figure out that's new or remember it. Oh, I haven't seen that yet. Then the other museum I went to that day was the Great Plains Art Museum. This was a Native American art museum, so it focused on the tribes that are local to the Great Plains, so Nebraska area. So the Apache, Pawnee, Hopi, so those tribes are like the main tribes related in the Great Plains area. Mainly the Hopi tribe, so lots of their stuff was on display.
You've been now to at least two museums that had different tribes. Is their art similar? The museum you went to in New Mexico compared to the one you went in Nebraska, is their art similar or is it different inspirations? How would you describe it?
They're both similar in that there's a lot of modern art by current living Native American artists on display. Mm-hmm. Like stuff that's modern, that takes cultural heritage from like they're still tribal members. So like this speaks to me in terms of my life. I've been growing up and where I'm at this moment. So both had that on display. And then they've also had stuff that was from like the past, which was on display as well. I think the one in Santa Fe I enjoyed more, but partly it was a bigger museum and found was a lot of more like unique works of art on display compared to the Great Plains Art Museum. I had less of that, but it was still a solid museum. I liked the basement more because the basement they had was a lot of stuff that was landscapes, like beautiful wild horses on display and the works in paintings or like cloud formations or rock formations or like bison statues. So I liked that a lot. And that was that part. Oh, I also went to, I think it was Monday, so I have to backtrack, but I went to the University of Nebraska-Lincoln football stadium, which is a memorial stadium. So I got to see outside, take pictures outside, and visit the stadium. But you have to book tours 2 weeks in advance, so I didn't get to go inside tour. I didn't think of it, and then I forgot.
2 weeks in advance?
Oh, yeah, because that's high of a destination. Like, it's a place people go way out of the way to go there. And my sister forgot, too. She's like, oh, shoot, you should have booked it 2 weeks in advance. She's like, oh, it's all right. There was an outdoor museum too. It was the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Sports Hall of Fame. That was well done. I recognized 2 of the names on the wall of fame. It's like, well, I knew 2, so that's pretty solid.
Who'd you recognize?
Alex Gordon. He's famous for playing for the Kansas City Royals in baseball, and he helped them win a World Series 10 years ago, so he's well beloved in Nebraska and in Missouri. Because in Nebraska, if you're in East Nebraska, you root for the Kansas City Sports. If you're in West Nebraska, you root for the Denver Sports. So we were in East, so you root for the Kansas City sports teams. So he was well beloved as a member of the university and because he helped win a World Series near that area. And then another one I recognized was Dominican Sue. He was a legendary offensive lineman who played for 15 years, or a while. He retired maybe 5 years ago, but when he was drafted in 2010, he was force of nature. He's probably the most famous name on there. He was just inducted this year, 2025, which I was surprised it took that long, but maybe there's a reason. Because Alex Gordon was not inducted 10 years ago. And that was the first year they had this Wall of Fame, according to what was on display. So it started in 2015.
Thank you, Collin, for sharing your adventures in Nebraska. And thank you to everyone for listening to this week's episode. Be sure to check out Collin's podcast, History from the Back Pages, and the Bull and Hawk Sports Show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever you find your podcasts. Be on the lookout for part 2 of my conversation with Collin about Nebraska. Coming soon. Have a great week.